To the writer who doesn't write, the runner who doesn't run, the musician who doesn't play, to anyone who's had a goal they never met or a dream they never pursued. We live in a world of sensory overload, where attention is the new currency and everyone and everything is fighting for it. Our lack of focus is blamed on the apps we carry in our pockets that hook us in like slot machines by offering a fresh hit of dopamine with every refresh pull. And afterwards, we're left feeling empty and unmotivated to do the things we dream of doing, because whether we know it or not, we compare our lives to everything we just experienced through a screen. Seeing writers who've been writing longer, runners who can run faster, musicians who can play better, and people who have already achieved their goals. Now, the quick fix solutions to this are things like dopamine detoxes.
Let's talk about dopamine.
Dopamine detox today.
Just delete all the apps off your phone, or better yet, just throw it away and go outside for 30 days. See how you feel. If that doesn't work, then maybe you're just procrastinating.
Procrastinating.
And you need to spend a few hours watching videos on how to overcome procrastination, which in itself is procrastination. And as with most challenges like this, these never really stick. We usually go right back to what we did before. And the main reason for that is that this is not the full picture. There's a secret underneath all of this, a secret that stops us from doing the things that we want to do. A secret that in his book, The War of Art, Steven Pressfield lets us in on. It's not the writing that's hard. What's hard is sitting down to write. And what keeps us from sitting down or putting on our running shoes or picking up our instruments is not social media or procrastination or the world or even ourselves. It's resistance. Anything that prevents you from doing your work boils down to resistance. It has many different forms, it goes by many different names, but it only has one goal: to keep you from doing what you are meant to do. To start a business, to join a gym, to eat better, to make cheesy YouTube videos, anything that will cause you to level up in any way, big or small, resistance is there to stop you. It is the most toxic force on the planet that no one really talks about. You don't see tons of videos of people saying, oh, resistance is whooping my ass again. And that's the secret. It hides in the tools it uses against you. Okay, bear with me. Procrastination. We put off doing our work until tomorrow or maybe when we feel a little bit more inspired, and resistance wins. We compare ourselves to others, which makes us feel inferior, so instead of doing our work, we find distractions, and resistance wins. Even things that seem positive, like talking about our goals, makes us feel good in the moment, but at the same time, it gives us a false sense of doing because we haven't actually sat down and done anything, and resistance wins. This is a constant war, a war of art, a war against an enemy that we cannot see, hear, taste, or smell, but we can feel. Resistance makes us feel anxious, bored, restless, depressed, even lost. It doesn't want us to know what we want to do with our life or try things until we figure it out. It wants to keep us right where we are, no better, no worse. But this is where the cracks start to show. Despite all that it throws at us, all that it hides behind, resistance is its own worst enemy, because resistance is a compass. It points us to what we want most. The more resistance you feel towards something, a work or a calling, the more sure you can be that you have to do it. The more afraid you are of something, the more likely it is that you should try it. Because if it meant nothing to you, then you would feel nothing. Resistance turns us into consumers instead of creators. It makes us think that we have all these things to overcome, when really it's just one thing. It's just resistance. And there's only one way to beat it. You have to sit down and do your work. Whatever that looks like for you. If you're a writer, sit down and write. If you're a runner, put on your running shoes and go run. And it doesn't matter if it took you an hour to write 2 lines and they both suck. Or you could only run for 2 minutes before collapsing on the ground, waiting for the sweet release of death. You still won. You beat resistance. And the more you do this, the more you show up, the better you'll get. So, is there something you've been putting off? Good. Sit down and get to work. Is there something you want to do that terrifies you? Good. Sit down and get to work. All of us experience resistance because all of us have something worth doing.
I'm gonna have to do things the harder way.
And in a world that feels so oversaturated, we all still have a voice to be heard.
Get it again, baby! Yes!
Art to be seen.
It's gonna be really nice. I think it's gonna be a nice and simple logo.
Goals to be achieved.
My house is dope, NJSA21, thank you, I appreciate you.
Don't let resistance take that from you.
Oh, that makes me so happy.
Don't let resistance cheat us of your contribution.
I am
the guy. I'm the one.
Go down with a fight.
I'm gonna make it to the next light, and then we'll see how I go.
Because you'll never know what your life could look like unless you try.
Work till my life is gone. Gotta work. I tell my baby that it's time to go. Gotta work. When I'll be back, I don't really know. Gotta work. Sweat on my brow, fingers warm to the bone. That's what I gotta do to make a home. Gotta work. Working hard, getting up at 3. Work, working on. Gotta work till my life is gone.